Hey guys, it's Julie from Plan to Create. I just shared a pretty, thorough setup of how I'm using this A5 planner this year, and I thought I would bring you along this week while I planned out week number 4 here. I have not done anything, and I probably will start to work ahead a little bit more, but I kind of was saving this to bring you guys along. So I thought I'd just walk you through my process. Something that I was doing as I evaluated this previous week is I realized I still have a ton of space here and it's probably not necessary. So I was kind of wondering hey, maybe I could bump that up a little bit shorter and have a little bit more space for social media. I am wanting to try to think through a little bit more what are the things I want to share. So it'd be kind of nice to just have a little more wiggle room here. So that's kind of what I talked about last week is adjusting these sections as you go through your days, as you go through your weeks, and just kind of giving each section the space that you want it to have. And I also thought about the fact that I have a ton of space up here that I don't necessarily need. So I think I'm going to try bumping up my workout. I'm not going to do any washi up at the top this week. I didn't last week. It is pretty when I am able to do it. I think I had it up there for the first couple of weeks. Yeah, it's really pretty. But all in all, like I've said before, I don't really like to add the bulk. I've done it twice this month already, so let's give it a little breather and just go ahead and move that workout section all the way up to the top. So someone asked me in my previous video, what am I using to do this line and how do I get it so precise? And that is the sweetest thing ever because this is anything but precise. This is how I do it. I don't use a ruler. I just don't feel like I need to be that fussy because this color is just... It's dark enough to show up, but it's light enough to be super forgiving. I just need it to be this really faint division for me, and that's exactly what it does. And while I normally do kind of a line across, that works out with my steps and everything, I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm just basically gonna divide this section almost in half here, and this is gonna give me a little bit more wiggle room. This is why I don't like to do too far ahead, is because I do kind of like to fuss with this and get a feel for it. I'm gonna pull out some stuff to start building my sidebar. These are the things I use the most, and kind of want to decide. I have 2 more weeks in January, so I have plenty of stickers. Like I said, I think I told you guys in my last video, I went overboard. I recognize that. So I'll probably use the vision board. So that means I'm going to be going a little bit more gray. So this is where I kind of look back and go oh, where do I like having that sticker? I think my favorite one so far has been this. I like the dots at the top, then January, then that, then that, and that. I want to repeat that this week. So we're going to do it. Oh, that's cute. I really like that little January. And I'm going to stamp the week number with that. When I'm stamping directly onto my pages, I use this Color Theory. It's no longer available, but the truth is that it's just really dry. The ink pad just kind of almost arrives on the drier side. So when I'm stamping onto stickers, I generally grab my Memento ink. And I might do an experiment. I might buy another one of these, and then I'm going to take this older one and stamp off a lot of the extra ink. And then I'll see if I feel more comfortable stamping on these pages, because then I could kind of tell you guys, yes, I could recommend it. As of right now, I don't recommend using this directly to the Tomo River paper, but I'm really comfortable stamping it onto my stickers. I try to remember to put these on really quickly so that I don't end up with marks like that anymore, but stuff happens when you're working with black ink. It is what it is. Oh, the January stamps. Okay, I used all of them, but I have some more coming. So I'm going to wait on that for a second. So I'll see if that is going to arrive this week. I was thinking too, part of this I wanted to mention is that I'm going to show you. This is Sunday. I'm setting this up on Sunday the 19th. I want you to see how sparse it really kind of is in the beginning, and then how I add things throughout the week. Ideally, I'm aiming for kind of a progression video, which means that my lighting is probably going to shift between clips, but I wanted to mention that because I'm going to just kind of build on this throughout the week. I'm going to go ahead and throw down my steps sticker here. This is my clean color dot, and I believe that the color is oatmeal. It's part of the smoky pack. Don't love the other colors in the smoky pack, but this one I just like. It works nicely with the other things that I use in my planner. So it's kind of weird to have this big departure. I'm doing the solid gray, but I do like to add the warmth of kind of that oatmeal, sandcastle color. And I actually think I might do it with my meal plan too, just because I don't like things to get too cold. I like to warm things up a little bit here. And then I usually pull my pencil board out just to give it a little bit more something underneath. This ink is Catherine Pooler Sandcastle, and I did also daub this off onto like a scratch piece of paper. When I first got the ink pad, I just kind of boom, 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 until if I do that and it doesn't come through with like a really solid juicy image of an oval, then I kind of know it's ready for me to use inside my planner. And that way it's just not going to have a bunch of extra juice that then bleeds through. So I'll kind of show you, you know, you can't really see that below. I mean, you can see that faint ghosting, but that's just because that's the paper. That's just the way it is. Okay, I will also do that little mark down here. Other things that I do, I basically just come through with my schedule and start to map out some events. And I generally like will start with stuff being very, I don't know, like simple. I'll just do a little dot like that. I know I have an 11:15 appointment on Wednesday. My husband is going to be traveling a little bit this week, so I'm going to mark that out at the top, which I shared these thin highlight strips in my overall video, and you can see, I mean, I'm using the heck out of them. I really like them. I have a get together, but I don't know the plans exact times yet, so I'm just going to create a little note here. I will be adding the little sticker, the clear calendar sticker. You should see that pop up in a few days here, and a couple of dots, like just to kind of emphasize the colors that I'm using this week. But other than that, I just kind of wanted to show you how my week starts. This is what I do the week before. I come through, I just double check, have I got everything that was in my, oh yeah, and cleaners are coming. Okay, so I have a couple things I can add here. I usually use these Scotch half circles. She already like has them all divided. I've cut circles in half before, that works as well. But these are kind of nice just to have already cut in half for me. I am expecting a fountain pen on the 23rd. And so that's part of why I pulled this. I want to pull this little Coffee Monster Co. washi out. It's super cute and it has fountain pens. So I'm not a huge fountain pen lover. I have one TWSBI and it's like, okay, like I don't love it. And I won't be using a fountain pen on these pages. This paper doesn't work very well. But I thought I would have it available for other things, other books I'm working in. And these were all from my friend Dina, who I'm meeting up with on Sunday. She had like every roll of washi, and I had none of the Coffee Monster Co. And she was so sweet and generous to share these. So I'm picking up what I can. Like I just placed an order on the 18th with Helen's latest release, and so I'm like restocking some of these that I didn't have as they come available. But they're just so cute, and I'm loving these like kind of neutral colors. So we're gonna see if we can make this work this week, even though it's like grays, browns. I'm hoping by the end of the week it'll all kind of marry in. I've used, you know, just a lot of consistent neutrals, and it should just all blend in together. I mentioned this in my last video, but something I'm doing is I'm coming through and I'm circling the days where I close my rings. So I've been using like this little stencil. It just has the little circles, so I like to do those. It's fun. So I will, like I said, be adding that there, and I will transfer all of those circles and see how many more I can add this week. I will leave it at this for now, and I'm gonna hopefully pop back throughout the week as I add things. And like I said, sorry if the light is really crazy sometimes, but I'm gonna just do my best to bring you along the entire week and hopefully have this one up on Saturday or Sunday. Okay, so here's a quick glimpse at my week 3, I call them middle pages, and now I'm going to bring you along as I set up my week 4's middle pages. I use these Carrie Bradford stamps and just keep it really sleek, and it's funny how it starts off like all streamlined and nice, but by the end of the week it'll be a pretty good little mess. I had marked little spots with pencil, and dang it, when I went to erase it I wrinkled my page, but that's the way it works with this thin paper, so I got to be a little more careful, and I've also just got to be okay with it. I draw these simple lines down the sides, and I'm just, you know, excited to kind of see where these pages head. I do a little doodling. It's kind of like a 3 best things spot for me. So I thought I would include that here as part of my week 4 plan with me. Okay, I'm not going to lie. When I started this week out with this concept, I thought it would be this really crisp, like, here's what I did on Monday. On Tuesday, I added this. On Wednesday, da-da-da-da-da-da. But honestly, it's like I did the same thing. Every morning I'd come in, like, you're going to see my PJ sleeves. You know, I definitely pop in the morning. I kind of like, ooh, was there anything I forgot to fill out last night? Anything I need to do for this morning? I'm very fluid in this planner. And the whole point of this video really is just to show you guys, like, look how clean and simple my week starts, and then kind of give you a chance to see how it fills out. So what you'll see is that I just come through and I write my basics, and it's really the same stuff, honestly, day after day. If I do something unordinary, I'll try to jot it down. I feel like I wrote more stuff this week because I knew you guys were watching. But look, sorry, suddenly stickers appear because I'm like, oh shoot, forgot to film. There they are. So I didn't do a very good job with this format, and I don't think that this is my go-to way of presenting my planner. But I did really want you guys to kind of see the evolution. So that's what I'm trying to showcase here and just give you a glimpse into that. I'm going to give you a little sneak here into my sticker storage because I bring all these dots out. I don't usually keep these like in my pockets of my planner like the other stickers that I use a lot, but I keep them very close by in a little small folder, which I'm eventually going to give you a sneak of here. There it is. And it's just kind of cute. I used the stickers themselves to kind of label what's in each pocket. So I'm kind of trying to give you guys a glimpse. It's mostly dots and icons, things that I use occasionally, but not every week. With my calendar sticker up in my sidebar, I go ahead and transfer the previous week's information to this. I'm keeping track of the days I close my rings, and I'm kind of wanting this cumulative view. So every week I add the previous week's and then the current week's information. Kind of a tedious task, to be honest, but I think it'll be fun at the end. The next thing, I get a specific date and time for my meetup on Sunday. So I go ahead and swap out the sticky note and add in an actual appointment there. And then I just want to give you an update on the middle pages. Okay, it's a new day. I think it must be like Wednesday or Thursday. I don't even know at this point, but I'm coming through and either adding the previous day's workout or that morning's. I think that, oh yeah, I had a huge appointment canceled on Wednesday, so I used a little cancel sticker, and that gave me a whole bunch of extra time in my day, which was a little awkward and weird. I'm disturbed by that huge amount of space that is open on Tuesday. So I just decided to grab this stamp and be like, yeah, I was living life. I like literally don't know what I was doing apparently, but I was doing my thing. So I just come through, and you're going to see a little tip there. If you don't get your stamp perfect, I just come through and do my best to fix it up with my black pen. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, like stamping isn't perfect. So if you ever think that mine are perfect, please look closely. I promise you, they are not. And there's nothing like a little Tombow coloring in to kind of help disguise any of the imperfections. Okay, it was only a matter of time, I swear. I laid that washi down, and it just felt like such a stark contrast to the gray I had going. So you can see here, I'm just going to divvy some of it up, and it will reappear later, but I go ahead and just call it. I just can't do it anymore. It's too much all right there. I just stick it there and save it for later. I feel like it's like same story day 4. So I am just coming through new sleeves and I'm jotting down the things that I want to track in my book. I feel like this is a good place for me to mention that I use my planner initially, like you saw in the beginning of the week, to kind of add in just the events, just the basics. From that point, I rely heavily on my iCal and an app called Things, where I track all of the things that I need to get done, especially the ones that like need to happen every week or every other day. It's a really nice way. It populates itself. I don't have to worry about it. It just like shows up in the morning, like do this. So I don't typically write those things down. Like I said, I think I wrote a few more down this week because I felt like I was on camera, needed to write something. But I wanted to say too, like the iCal, I try to block out my days and my weeks that way. And I'm going to give kind of just this little hint. I do a better job of time blocking in week 5. So I feel like it's something that I'm starting to gain some momentum on. It's a struggle for me. It's not my gifting to map out my time. It's my gifting to lay down stickers on paper. But really, what does that actually do for me? So I'm trying to marry the two things and, use the stickers to help me block out my time. So I'll just give this little hint that hopefully the next plan with me I share, I can go into a little bit more detail on that. Okay, but meanwhile, let's flip to the fun part. These are my middle pages, and I'm just bringing you along today to show you kind of how I'm trying to experiment. I'm doodling, but it's not my own creation. You can see I just Google something if I want to draw it, see if I can find one online that I can replicate, and just doing my best to do that. Stamps are also obviously a go-to for me, so I'm using them here instead of drawing. I'm trying to just do a lot of hand lettering on these pages, really push myself to try new things that I'm uncomfortable with, and they're a good practice space for that. And obviously stickers are perfect in a pinch as well. Okay, forgive me. I feel like I'm waiting to the very end of the video to kind of explain this, but if you are new here, I will just run through the fact that I'm tracking my workouts up on the top. The bigger section there is kind of my day-to-day flow, so I for sure add appointments, sometimes add activities that I was up to, trying to utilize that space as best I can, but that's the hardest one for me. Then that next line is for my meal plan. The following one is for our Airbnb, any notes that I need to keep track of, any prompts that I need to be reminded of, or any special activities that have happened. You can see here I'm adding the sticker at the top. Those indicate days that my husband or I, or both of us, are traveling. And then at the very bottom is where I have been doing my social media. So that's kind of, I stick a sticker if I make a post, and it just helps me see at a glance what I've been up to. Okay, so this is how the week turned out. You can kind of see the difference between where I started and where I ended. And I just wanted to show you that progression. I'm giving you a little bit of an in-depth look here into some ink that I spilled and then an appointment that I crossed off. And I know that that's kind of goofy, but I also just want to point that out. I hear a lot on Instagram like, oh, your pages are perfect, they're pretty, and I appreciate that, but I also want to assure you that they are not. And then a quick glimpse at the middle pages and how they worked out too. And they're just kind of this ever-evolving thing that are going to be a little bit different each week. And I'm really enjoying just the flexibility of playing here in this space. I really appreciate you guys joining me. I appreciate your grace as I approach this. I might be decent at laying down stickers, but I am an absolute work in progress in the whole productivity portion of my life. So if this is something that you kind of enjoy watching, even hopefully my progression over time as I dial in further and further into kind of living the life that I want and letting that be reflected here on my pages, please take a second to like the video, to comment below and let me connect with you, and subscribe if you're so inclined. Thanks guys, see you next time.